So I'm gonna go ahead and get started here, guys. Whoever's gonna join after, they're more than welcome. So I wanted to welcome everybody today to the Autophagy Advantage. So I'm Maurice, and I'm thrilled to actually see a few of you today and who's actually interested in the fascinating science of actually cellular renewal. So quick poll in the chat. Type 1 if you've tried fasting before, or two, if this is completely new concept for you. I'd love to know who I'm talking with today. Vera, thanks so much. Tom, thank you. So now, before we dive in, let me share something personal. See, 8 years ago, I was constantly feeling fatigue, dealing with inflammation, and honestly, feeling older than my actual age. That's when I started researching cellular renewal mechanisms and discovered the science we're going to discuss today. And what I found was a scientifically validated process that our bodies are designed to perform, but the modern lifestyle often tend to disrupt. And today I'll share what I've learned from both the research and my personal experience implementing these simple strategies. So in 2016, something remarkable happened in the scientific communication community. See, Dr. Yoshinori was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his groundbreaking research on autophagy, the body's cellular recycling system. Now, think of autophagy as your body's built-in housekeeping service. So the word literally means self-eating in Greek. But what it actually describes is your cell's ability to identify and break down damaged components and recycle them for energy and building materials. So here's where it gets interesting. See, over time, our cells can accumulate damaged proteins, malfunctioning mitochondria, like your cell's power plants, and other cellular garbage. It's like trying to run an efficient factory while the trash keeps piling up in the corners. And research suggests that cellular trash accumulation is actually associated with many aspects of aging and various health challenges. So when autophagy is working efficiently, it actually helps clear the cellular debris, potentially supporting better cellular function. But here's the challenge many of us face. See, our modern lifestyle often inhibits this natural process, in particular, frequent eating and constant calorie intake can actually suppress autophagy. See, our ancestors didn't have 24/7 access to food. They experienced natural periods of fasting that triggered the cellular cleanup process. And today, many of us eat from the moment we wake up until right before bed, never giving our bodies a chance to actually activate these ancient cellular renewal mechanisms. So, quick questions for the audience. How many hours typically pass between your last meal of the day and your first meal the next day? Drop your answers in the chat if you don't mind. 8 hours. 10 to 12 hours, perfect. See, interesting. Well, research suggests autophagy begins to ramp up about 16 to 18 hours of fasting. So those of you doing 12 hours or less might not be getting the full autophagy advantage. Now, let's talk about what's happening at the molecular level when we fast. See, there are two key signaling pathways that regulate autophagy. We have mTOR and AMPK. So think of them as seesaw in your cells. See, mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin, is actually the growth pathway. So when you eat particularly protein-rich foods, mTOR activates and essentially tells your cells, we have resources, grow, build, and reproduce. This is very important for muscle growth and many other functions, of course. Now, on the other side of the seesaw is AMPK, AM activated protein kinase, which actually activates when energy is low. So AMPK tells your cells, hey, resources are scarce, conserve energy, recycle materials, clean house, and this is when autophagy ramps up. See, in our food abundant environment, many of us have mTOR activated almost all the time, and AMPK rarely gets a chance to do its job. It's like having a cleaning service that's never allowed to enter the building. So the key isn't to permanently suppress mTOR. We need both pathways for optimal health. The goal is to find a rhythm that allows both systems to work appropriately. And this is where strategic fasting comes in. And before anyone gets worried, I'm not here to tell you that you need to stop eating for days on end. In fact, some research suggests even shorter fasting periods can actually begin to trigger autophagy benefits. So let me check in with you all. So type yes in the chat if you're following the science so far or a bit confused, if I need to clarify anything before moving on. All clear, perfect. Good here. Awesome, so let's move forward here. So great, so now let's talk about practical application. So based on the current research and clinical experience, we've developed a flexible 4 to 30-day protocol to support autophagy and cellular renewal. So the protocol has three main phases. You have metabolic flexibility, let's say day 1 to 3, which this phase helps your body adapt to using fat for fuel, making the fasting period more comfortable. It's like training wheels for your metabolism. Number 2, which is the autophagy activation, that's between days 4 to 14. This is where we implement specific fasting windows designed to upregulate autophagy while ensuring adequate nutrition. And 3 is the cellular regeneration, which is days 15 to 30. For those continuing beyond the 2 weeks, this phase actually focuses on consolidating benefits and supporting cellular renewal. So the protocol offers several fasting approaches based on, of course, your experience level. You have the beginner, recommending 16 to 8 intermittent fasting. That means a 16-hour fasting, 8-hour eating window. You have intermediate, 20 to 4 intermittent fasting, or even 24-hour fast, 1 to 2 times per week. And you have advanced, where you can go 36, 48-hour fast or alternate day fasting. So the beauty of this protocol is it's flexible. Some people see significant benefits with just the 16-8 window approach, while others prefer to include longer fasting periods. And yes, I see you in the chat, and the protocol includes specific guidance for breaking your fast to minimize, let's say, digestive discomfort and maximize nutritional benefits. That actually one of the most important components that people often overlook. So here's a quick audience check-in. Which fasting schedule seems most doable for your lifestyle? Type A for 16 and 8 window, B 20 to 4 window, C for 24-hour fast, or D for longer fasts. So we got A already, perfect. A, we see occasional C, perfect. B, nice. So it's an interesting mix. So remember, the best protocol is the one you can actually stick with consistently. Now, when it comes to autophagy, there's always some targeted supplementation. So now that we understand the basic of autophagy and our fasting protocol, I want to discuss a little bit some of the target supplementation that can actually enhance your cellular cleaning process. So while fasting is powerful trigger for, let's say, autophagy, certain scientifically formulated supplements can actually provide additional support to this natural process. Let's take, for example, one such supplement is Cyrosym. It's a biodynamic formula that actually leverages enzymatic power to support your body's natural purification process. So what makes Cyrosym particularly valuable during an autophagy protocol is its special blend of nutrients that assist in the routine removal of cellular toxins. So think of it this way. When you're doing a deep clean of your home, having the right cleaning supplies makes the process more effective. So similarly, Cyrosym supports your body's internal cleaning mechanism by aiding cells in managing and neutralizing harmful substances. So this can be especially beneficial during the autophagy activation phase of our protocol, as your body is already engaged in cellular housekeeping. The enzymatic support from Cyrosym works synergistically with your body's natural processes. Now, another um, valuable supplement to consider is Cytixavir, which focuses specifically on immune defense and liver support. So as many of you know, the liver is your body's primary detoxification organ, and it plays a crucial role in the overall cellular renewal processes. Cytixavir supports the liver in actually performing its detoxification role more effectively, which complements the autophagy process beautifully. It's actually designed to optimize cellular energy and enhance the enzymatic conversion processes necessary for effective nutrient delivery. And what's particularly interesting is how these supplements align with the metabolic pathways we discussed earlier. You know, when AMPK is activated during fasting periods, these supplements can provide additional support to the cellular cleaning mechanism that are already in progress. So how might you integrate these supplements into our 4 to 30-day protocol? Well, for beginners, I typically recommend starting with the fasting schedule alone for the first week, allowing your body to adjust to the new eating pattern. Once you're comfortable with the fasting rhythm, you might consider introducing Cyrosym during your eating windows to support the cellular cleanup that continues even after your fast ends. And for the following of the let's say intermediate or let's say advanced protocol with longer fasting periods, Cytixavir can be particularly valuable during your refeeding windows, supporting your liver as it processes nutrients and continues the detoxification process triggered during your fast. So remember, while these supplements are designed to support natural body processes, the fundamental trigger for autophagy remains the fasting protocol itself. So think of them as enhancers rather than replacements for the core strategy. Now, does anyone have any questions about how these supplements might fit into their personal autophagy protocol? So type your questions in the chat and I'll address them during our Q&A session. Now, for those concerned about, I just wanted to put this out there. For those concerned about muscle loss, the common myth about fasting protocol specifically addresses this with timing strategy for protein intake and resistance training to maintain lean mass while still getting autophagy benefits. Guys, I wish we had a bit more time to actually dive even deeper into all these fascinating aspects. For those wanting the complete protocol, including detailed fasting schedules, nutritional guidance, supplement recommendation, and troubleshooting tips, I've actually put everything together into a comprehensive cellular renewal protocol guide. Normally, this guide is available for $95, but I promise everybody that actually shows up to the webinar will actually get a copy for free. So the link is going to be posted in the chat right now for you. I'm going to put it in, and hopefully everybody can have access to it. And as agreed as well, too, once you review the complete protocol, you have any questions, definitely feel free to connect back with me. But as well, I wanted to give a big thanks to the company because they are putting a 40% discount on the products that I mentioned until Sunday midnight. And I truly believe this information has the potential to transform your relationship with food and support your long-term health goals. Now, the science of autophagy represents one of the most exciting frontiers in health research today. But before we move into the Q&A, I have one final question for you. What's your biggest takeaway from today's presentation? Now, please share in the chat. I love hearing what resonates most with different people. Fasting is important. Perfect. Thanks so much for sharing that. Need more hours for proper fasting, benefits of autophagy, and how these supplements can assist. Perfect. Now, I wanted to thank everyone for your engagement today. I'm excited to see the results as you implement these evidence-based strategies for cellular renewal. Now, if you do have questions, please post them up. More than happy to actually respond and give you as much details as I could. I know this is our first webinar. I made it a little bit short and quick as a quick, educational reference so everybody gets into it. But definitely you have any questions in regards to autophagy, fasting, or how the products can actually benefit, feel free to post your questions and we'll take it from there. So we got two questions. I'm going to answer the first question here. So benefits of autophagy and how these supplements can assist. So the autophagy, so as I mentioned earlier, so it's a cellular self-cleaning process where it removes damaged components. So the key benefits includes, let's say, reducing inflammation, enhanced immune function, potentially, of course, anti-aging effects, improved metabolic health. Now, when it comes down to the supplements that I mentioned, the Cyrozim and the Cyroxivir, keep in mind, they are going to assist with the detoxification process and the cellular function. And where these supplements are going to actually help to support the autophagy, and it does have a lot of scientific evidence to their effectiveness as well too, and how well they work, whether you're doing fasting, exercise, sleep, optimization, or even caloric restriction. Now, in regards to Tom's question, do the supplements while fasting interfere with the autophagy benefit? They do not, because it's not, you're not, because we're looking at everything as almost like a caloric. And sometimes we tend to see a lot of individuals when they're doing, let's say, autophagy and others, and you probably hear this from a lot of influencers where a lot of them, they continue drinking coffee or they continue adding MCT oils and others. So certain amounts of the caloric, if it's actually under a specific amount, it does not actually break the autophagy signal at all. So you are still in the AMPK window, and it does not actually cause any mTOR to be activated, or that it actually inhibits autophagy either. So, and that's a nice thing, because you're not eating anything that has proteins or anything that actually adds as a caloric to the body. So they do not conflict whatsoever, and you are constantly in a process where you're detoxifying your body. Could fasting for women in menopause cause weight gain, since the body doesn't know when the next meal will come and try to hold for that? No, fasting during menopause doesn't cause weight gain through a starvation mode mechanism. This is almost like a misconception. See, during menopause, weight changes are usually caused by either hormonal shift, that means decreased estrogen, natural age-related metabolic slowdown, sometimes changes in muscle mass, sleep disruption, stress. Even research shows intermittent fasting can actually be beneficial during menopause, because it does improve insulin sensitivity, it does help with reducing inflammation, it does support healthy weight management, and potentially actually improving your metabolic markers. Now, the body doesn't enter a fat storage mode during reasonable fasting periods, let's say 16 or even 24 hours. Now, more extended fast may require some supervision just to make sure, but for menopause-specific concerns, um, I can always break it down for you in specific, or I can post an article in regards to that, because it's all about routinely adding certain things to your diet without actually overdoing it. Can fish oil interfere? Only Well, see, what happened is anything that is a fat soluble. So let's say, for example, you're doing a 16-hour window fasting. And let's say when you wake up in the morning, you take that 1 tablespoon of fish oil. And the fish oil is about 15 grams of fat. Now, the fat, because it is very slow absorbing, is still gonna be extending your fast up to the meal one. But technically, if you're doing a 24-hour fasting, I would actually not take that to at least, that's how I do it, at least 4 hours prior to that meal, because that's the extension of the fat. Now, and the problem is with the fish oil, if we're going to look at it, if we break it down per calorie per gram, you have roughly about 9 calories per gram. It's a small amount in a supplement that it could potentially break the fast, but as long as you keep it prior to your before breaking the meal. So let's say if you break the meal at, assume, about 6 p.m. So if you take your fish oil, let's say on about 2 p.m., you should be fine. But if you take it much earlier than that, then you are going to actually break your fast. And the problem is with some of the fish oil, you have to keep in mind, just be careful of some of the ingredients they have, because some of the ingredients will actually get digested much faster, and that will actually cause your fast to break. So we always have to kind of keep an eye on that. It looks like we might not be getting any more questions. I hope I answered everybody in the proper way and stuff. And guys, again, don't forget to, if you get a chance, to download the link for the protocol. And Angelo just posted the coupon, Maurice 40, which does give you the 40% discount on the Zytec products. And you guys are more than happy to use it all the way till Sunday midnight. And other than that, I really appreciate everybody for showing up today, and we'll touch base with more information. Is this a coupon to use for 40% discount? Okay, perfect. Perfect. So if there's no more questions, you guys don't forget to copy that for Maurice 40 for the 40% off, and the link that I posted earlier as well to download the protocol. If you couldn't find it, definitely send me an email. More than happy to submit it. Again, I'm just gonna paste it one more time in case it got missed. There we go. You can download the full protocol, and we can go from there. Again, everybody, thanks so much for showing up today, and have an awesome day.